Hey guys, welcome to the Dot Mandala free session today. And today we are going to be doing a very simple basic dot design using dotting tools and acrylic paints over a black surface. My name is Rachayata and I am the co-founder at Amore. And today I welcome you all to this fun free live session. Just a few quick briefs before we get started with the dot mandala. Please keep yourself muted at all times. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand and I will unmute you. You can also use the chat box to type in any questions that you have. And I hope you have a lot of fun today in the session. We are going to be doing a basic small dot mandala because we just have about 45 minutes for the session. But this session will be enough for you to cover a few techniques and learn a little bit about dot mandala. So let's begin. Let me quickly get started with the surface that I'm using today. This surface is nothing but a black plain cardstock of about 200 GSM. You can use canvas board, you can use MDF, you can use glass, you can use anything for that matter, just that it needs to have a black base coat. So using a black acrylic paint, if you don't have it ready, you can simply do a black coat right now. It takes a little while to dry, and hence I have just selected a black paper to begin with. And other than that, we will be starting with a basic grid. The colors I will get to when I am, doing the colors. Now, for the first part, what we are going to do is we are going to simply make a basic grid. So this sheet of mine is about, 12 centimeters by 12 centimeters square. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark out the diagonals of this sheet. So from one corner to the other corner, simply just mark out the diagonals. And you can use a graphite normal pencil to mark the lines, but do it very lightly. I'll be doing it a little dark so that you can see it through the video, but you can make it a little light just so that it's visible enough for you. So just mark out the diagonals. Okay, so we have a cross on our page right now. And after that, the next step we are going to do is make a plus on our board. So since my edges are 12 centimeters, the half of that will be 6 centimeters. So that will be my midpoint for the line. We are going to keep the grid very simple. There are many other ways of doing this grid to make it more complex, but we are just going to stick to this basic grid. Okay. So I will just give you there is no size of the line. As I mentioned, my page is 12 by 12 centimeters. So I've just drawn the diagonals. My edges are 12 centimeters. So half of that will be 6 centimeters where I will draw the plus from. All the lines will intersect at a common point in the middle. I will give you a few seconds to finish this step. If you have a compass, just grab it. I will grab mine and then we will do the circular grid on this as well. Okay, so I have my compass here and yeah, you can use a CD as well. So we are going to use a compass to draw the circles. And we are going to draw about roughly 4 circles. I think that should be more than enough. So each circle will be at a distance of 1 centimeter. So I'm just putting my scale here on the horizontal line of the center, and you can just mark out every 1 centimeter. Okay. So as I said, we will have about 4 to 5 circles. Okay, giving you a couple of seconds to one centimeter is the distance which between each circle. Okay. So 12 by 12 centimeter page is roughly the size of a poster. So, you know, if you want to do this on posters and make a full set, that is also a great idea. All right. Now, till you guys finish this step, I'm going to get my colors ready. Now, the colors that I am using are these acrylic paints. These are acrylic colors from the brand called Flash. You can use Fevicryl acrylic colors, or you can use, camel acrylic colors. Anything is fine. Whatever you have available, you can use them. Okay, so I'm just going to show you my color palette that I'll be using for today. While you guys are finishing this. So just getting my paints ready. Now for today, I am going to be using a pastel palette, but you can use any colors that you have. It's up to you and your choice of colors. You need at least a color palette of about 3 to 4 colors, and that's it. If you want to add more colors, feel free, but at least a color palette of 3 to 4 colors should do. Okay, so I'm going to show you my colors shortly. Give me a second. Okay, so starting with the colors, yes, you can use acrylic colors on MDF too. They are multi-surface paint, so you can use them on uh, MDF, glass, anything. So if you guys are not aware, we have an advanced dot session where we are going to teach more extensive and more elaborate techniques as compared to today's session. Today's session is a basic session just to acquaint you with the form of dot mandala, but we have an advanced session happening this weekend. So if you do enjoy this session, I would definitely recommend that you learn the more advanced techniques and then experiment using all those techniques together. So the colors that I'm using today are right here. These are all pastel shades that I have. To make any pastel shade, all you have to simply do is add white to that color and you will get a pastel shade. Now, the tools that I'm using, okay, are going to be different tools of different width sizes. So I have a marker here, the back of which has a flat surface, okay. So this could be also, so this is one of the tools that I'll be using. Then I have a pencil here. I have a pencil here which has an eraser at the back, which also is a flat round surface. So you can use something like this. I have a craft stick, wooden craft stick here, which also has a flat round surface, something like that. Then you can use a toothpick. The front of the toothpick is very useful for doing tinier dots, and you can use Q-tips, to make the dots also. So anything basically with a flat round surface works really well. All you need is a flat round surface that you can dip in your bottles and do. As I mentioned, you can use any colors that you have. This is just to get you an idea of the kind of shades that I'm using, but it is not necessary that you have to use these same shades. Now, these are the different sizes of dots that you can get using these tools. Okay, so this is with the pencil, and this is with the toothpick, and this is with the back of the toothpick. You can use the front and the back both, the tiny dots and the bigger dots. So these are all the different sizes of dots that you can get using different tools. All right, so let's start. And we're going to start with a bigger dot in the center. So I'm going to be using a purple shade. Okay, this is my lilac shade that I have. So dipping the tool straight into my paint. Okay, don't wipe off the excess paint, let it settle on your tool. I'm not wiping it off, I'm just letting it settle on the tool, and I will hold my tool exactly perpendicular to my sheet. Okay, the tool has to be exactly perpendicular to my sheet. I will hold it straight and place the dot in the center. Okay, so I have my dot here, and if you have uneven edges, or if you have a little bit of uh, unevenness in the shape of the dot, you can simply correct it with a toothpick as well. Okay, so that's my center. And now we are going to do a line of white dots around this center. Okay, so for that I'm going to use my mint green shade. You can use white also if you don't have this exact shade. And after every dot, you have to dip it in the paint. Okay, you can only do one dot with one dip. Okay, so I have a line of green dots here. And now the next step is to do slightly bigger dots. So for that, I'm going to use my craft stick, and I'm going to use my marine blue shade. Now this is nothing but a mixture of purple and blue. You can, as I mentioned, you can use any shade that you have. And I'm going to do the dots on every line. Okay, every grid line that I have, I'm going to do the dots on that.
Hello, excuse.
Guys, please use the chat box. The meeting is being recorded. So please use the chat box for any queries. Okay, so I have done the line of dots. And I will give you a few seconds to finish this step, and then we will move on to the next one. If you have any queries, just use the chat box. The measurement of the lines I mentioned in the beginning of the session. So you draw the two diagonals first from the corners of the page, which will make an X on your page, and then you draw a plus. So for the plus, you just have to measure out the midpoint of your edge. So my sheet is about 12 centimeters. So the midpoint is 6 centimeters. So I make a plus using the midpoints of all the four edges. Okay, so we have these circle dots here. And the next step we are going to do is add a white dot on top of each of the blue dots that we did. Okay, and for this, I'm using the back of the toothpick. Okay, dip it in paint every time so that you get the same size of dots, and hold your tool perpendicular to the page. Okay. Yes, depending on your size and the measurements of your sheet, you have to change the grid lines. The measurement will differ. Okay, so I've done the white dot. Now, I have a wooden skewer here, which I'm going to use for the next step. No, so my paints are perfect consistency. They are as thick as, honey. So that is the consistency that you aim for. I am not adding any water, since adding water to the paints, affects the way your dots come out. So I don't prefer to add any water, and neither should you. You can dip it straight from the bottle and use it. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to use this wooden skewer back for the next step, and I am adding yellow dots now. So dipping it in my yellow paint, and I'm going to do the dots between the two blue dots right here. Okay. Okay, so those are my yellow dots. Now, same way, using the same yellow paint, I'm going to do a line of tiny dots under the yellow dot. Okay, so under the yellow dot, I'm doing a line of tiny dots, if you can see. Okay, like that. Very simple. Okay, now the next step, what we are going to do is, we are going to make a snowflake kind of a design. So I'm going to be using my pencil for the next step and my mint green color. And just understand where I'm placing the dot, okay? On the last circular line is where I'm going to put my dot, right touching right the circle, okay? Just right outside the circle is where I'm going to put the mint green dot with my pencil. Okay. So I'm going to do this on all four corners. On all the diagonals, we are doing this basically. Okay. So we have the four green dots on all the four diagonals. You can see that. And the same thing we are going to do on the plus sign as well. But for the plus sign, we are going to put the dots right above our white dots. Okay. So this is where the dot will go, right above our white dots. So I do not have any reference for the design. I am making it as we go along the design. So no matter, even if you do have a reference, you can only stick to that reference for the color shade. Besides that, your dots will differ from the reference design, and your design will never turn out the same as your reference. So I always prefer to, make sure that I go along with the flow and make my own design rather than trying to have a reference and then, not being able to stick to it. Okay, so we have all the green dots here. And now the next step is to do the lilac dots right under the green dots. Now for this step, you use a tool that is smaller than your last tool. Okay, so last tool, I use the pencil with the eraser back. That is the tool I used. And right now I'm using a craft stick, so which is a little smaller than my pencil. Okay, so it gives a dot that is a little smaller than my pencil dot. So mint green you get by mixing dark green, blue, and a little bit of white. That is how you get that shade. Okay, so just do the lilac dot on all these sides. And for the dots on the plus, okay, on the plus of your grid, same thing. Be very careful because acrylic dots take a little while to dry, so don't smudge it while moving the page or anything. Be very careful when you're making any movements around it. Okay, so we have done the 4 dots. Now I will use the next smaller tool that I have, which is the back of the skewer that I'm using. And I think we should use the blue shade that we used. That will look good. Now, as I mentioned, this is a very simple design so that, all of you can easily do it. The advanced level that we have this weekend has a very intricate and complex design, which takes the skills that you learned in this class up a notch. And, you can really improve and enhance and uplift your skills in that level. Okay. Fevicryl and flash colors, consistency wise, they are very different. Every brand has some difference or the other. So yeah, but you can use whichever brand you have available. Okay. which are best. Any brand that you have available is the best. The acrylic colors are made from a single process. Like uh, there is a particular way to make acrylic paint. So no matter which brand, the consistency might differ a little bit, but otherwise, no matter which surface you want to do it on, or which brand you are using, the acrylic paints are very consistent across brands. So you can use any brand, the Fabrica ones, Fevicryl, Flash, anything is fine. Just drop me a text after the workshop, after this session ends. If you are interested in the advanced course, I will send you the details for that. It is happening on this Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day course where we'll be doing an advanced design with more techniques and dot extensions and intricate grids and everything. So now after the blue color, I think we can add white or yellow, or you can even add another color. I think I'll be adding the light blue shade that I have. Okay, and I'm using the same tool as earlier, but this time I will try to make the dot smaller with the same tool. Okay, so just touch the tool a little bit on the paper and you will get a smaller dot. Okay, very simple. And the last color I think we can add is the white. So okay, now this we will add only to the diagonal lines and not to the other lines. No, the Saturday course that's happening is it's a 2-day course, 1.5 hour each day, and we will be covering the formation and color palette on the first day and doing the dot extensions and finishing on the second day. So that is what we are going to do in the advanced course. Okay, so I have just added the white dots on the diagonal, and now I'm just going to show you what we are going to do in the advanced course. It will be taught in the advanced course, but I'm just showing you what is a part and what we are going to do. Just give me a second. Just stay tuned. Give me a second. I'm just adding the dot extension and showing you what it looks like. It's a really advanced technique. Takes a little while to, get a hang of. Okay. So this is what a dot extension looks like. So there are different ways and different shapes that you can do this in. And it looks very pretty added with the dots and everything. So this is what we are going to cover on in the advanced course. And now if you want to finish this design besides this technique, obviously I'm going to show you what you can do. So simply what you do is just add a bunch of dots around the top layer. So on this X, you can simply just, add dots in a semicircle like this. Okay. On all the four sides. So I'm using the back of the toothpick for this design. The last one. And as soon as the workshop ends, I am going to finish this design with the dot extensions and the dots and show you what it looks like. But yeah, I'm sure that you got the gist of how to add the dots and how to extend the design yourself. And you can keep doing that for, all the empty spaces. You can add more dots and other things to, amplify your design and make it prettier. So I will just add a few more swirls and, finish the design. So we have a couple of questions before we end the meeting, which I'm going to cover. So about the pencil lines, so what you can do is let your design dry for at least 24 hours overnight, and then you can lightly erase them with a eraser. Okay, that's the way that you can get rid of the pencil lines. Yes, I will share. I will complete this and share it on the group as soon as I finish it. Give me 15-20 minutes. I should be able to wrap up the design and share it with you on the group. So if you have not joined the WhatsApp group, just send me a message so that I can add you to it, where I will send the details of the advanced course as well. And I will share a finished picture of this design as well, so that you can see. Um, Canvas, yes, on Canvas also you can erase the lines the same way we can do it on paper. The recording is not available since this is a free session. It is only for our documenting that we have recorded the session, but it is not available. Any other questions that you guys have, let me know. You can reach me on, you can reach me on my WhatsApp number. So if you go to the group, you will be able to see, and I will send a message. The number that the Zoom link was sent from is the WhatsApp number you guys can reach me on. And I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I will share the finished picture soon. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you join the advanced session and take your skills up a notch. And yeah, bye bye, and have a great day ahead.